Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about responsibility in leadership for Leadership U. And to start off, we're just going to talk a little bit about responsible behavior and what that looks like in a leader. So some might think that being responsible is the same thing as being accountable or being there for somebody, being dependable. But research suggests that these are quite different mindsets. These are completely different things. Accountability and responsibility are completely different. Being accountable means that you're answerable and willing to help, willing to accept the outcomes or results of a project or activity. But responsibility goes much further than just being able to accept what's happened or being helpful. Responsibility is the mindset that says, I am the person who must make this happen. Whether it stems from your belief or because of your job requires you to do something like that, or if there's some social force behind the obligation. So responsibility is that voice in your head that says, I am the person that is right for this, and I'm the person that has to make this happen or it won't happen. The responsible leader exhibits this behavior in multiple directions. It influences how a leader behaves, but is equally strong in their relationship with an immediate boss or department of organization. Finally, it encompasses an overall set of values and attitudes. So leadership is about being responsible, is basically what that said. So now we're going to talk about the right attitude to have, the responsible attitude that goes along with your responsible behavior, your responsible attitude. And if you've never heard this in your life, there's a lot of things that you can't control. You can't control where you come from. You can't control what your parents and your family do. You can't control what's going on in the world. You can't change certain things. But two things that you can control all the time, completely, is your behavior and your attitude. So you can control your behavior toward things. You cannot get mad. And this goes along with attitude too. Your behavior and attitude are tied together. So you can control your attitude and behavior. You don't have to get mad so easy. You don't have to cry about every little thing. You stand up and you take responsibility for your actions. So the responsible attitude, a second dimension of responsibility, of responsible leadership is not behavior, but involves having an overall attitude of responsibility. It could be argued that responsible attitude manifests itself in behavior. So like I said, attitude is shown through your behavior. The way you act shows your attitude. However, an attitude of responsibility is also expressed in many small ways. The behavior is subtle and nonchalant, but is also important and palatable. It begins with the leader's visceral connection with the organization. The leader feels pride when an organization succeeds and obviously pain during the checking point. So, me as a leader here at the Boys and Girls Club, if the Boys and Girls Club succeeds, say we get an award for these summer camps. Say that my Leadership U program that I've been doing videos for you guys for here at the Boys and Girls Club were to get in some kind of award from the National Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Well, that would make me feel good. That would make me feel like I did my job right. And that's what that's saying. The bond is strong, but there is never a question about where organizational goals and the leader's personal goals stand in comparison to each other. So a leader's personal goals and his or her work or professional goals should intertwine. They should be the same thing, because the road to success for your organization, your job, or whatever you may be doing as a leader in your community goals should all lead to the same path, should all have the same ending. Personal goals always are subordinated to group goals, and the group goals are always trumped by what the broader organization needs. Responsible behavior includes doing things for which there is no immediate reward. So responsible behavior is me sitting here doing these videos for you guys, teaching you how to be a leader, teaching you the qualities of a good leader, interviewing leaders around our community with no immediate goal. It's my job, and yes, I get paid for this, but there's no immediate award that I'm going to receive for this. For example, most companies have found no efficient way to reward executives who take the time and energy to develop upcoming leaders. Fortunately, many leaders continue to take that role very seriously, despite the fact that they may never receive any tangible reward for this work. So that's like what I told you. Nowhere does the attitude of a responsible leader manifest itself more clearly than the use of resources. The responsible leader uses resources with even greater care if they were their own. So, me as a leader here, Miss Kendra, Miss Melanie, everybody here at the Boys and Girls Club as leaders in our club and our community, we use the resources that were provided and that we have here at the club easily accessible, and we train you guys. We're here to train you guys to be good leaders. We're here to send you out summer camp to go packets. And so that's what that means. Use your resources wisely, and every responsible behavior leader does. The responsibility authority paradox. We often hear managers laminate their work lack of authority. In fact, authority comes only after a leader demonstrates responsibility. Authority is seldom simply bestowed by a senior executive, but only earned through the responsible behavior of that executive. As the late Peter Drucker wrote, management has no power, management has only responsibility. I believe he was right in pointing out that leaders must both display and require responsible behavior for them and their employees. That is what enables them to have a maximum influence. So basically what that's saying is me having a good attitude, having a good responsible behavior and attitude towards myself and toward my employees or my followers as a leader or a boss would more efficiently allow me to lead, would successfully lay the path out for them to realize that they need a responsible behavior and attitude as well. So how can you increase your responsibility? The first step is to focus on the fact that you're no longer primarily responsible for your own outcomes, but for those of your team as well. So realize yourself that you are responsible for you and your team, your followers' actions and responsibilities. It is not about what you do, but what your team and organization does. This is a huge leap for many. To their detriment, many never achieve it. So you have to realize that you're working for you and your team. Those outcomes is part of that, as part of your responsible behavior, and as part of your overall group responsible behavior. Next is to accept the responsibility authority paradox. The combination of your responsible behavior with your responsible attitude gives you powerful influence and accelerates your leadership and growth. So you as a leader having that responsible authority paradox, having a responsible attitude and a responsible behavior toward things, allows you to more successfully grow your leadership, allows you to more successfully increase your group numbers and things like that. So that's pretty much all we got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about responsibility and leadership and how that's important. And we will see you guys next week for another Leadership U video. Bye, guys.